Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, happy Wednesday. It is October 6th.
Glad you are with us. If you have a federal student loan, listen up. The promise of the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program was supposed to be pretty simple. If college graduates were willing to forego the private sector's lucrative pay and work instead as a teacher, police officer, or government worker, any federal student debt they had after 10 years of payments would be forgiven.
But the program has proven anything but forgiving. More than a decade after its inception in 2007, thousands of borrowers have applied for forgiveness, and the federal government has rejected nearly all of them.
Well, that's supposed to change starting this fall. In this article from USA Today, the Education Department announcing today a sweeping overhaul to the loan forgiveness program that will immediately erase the debt of 22,000 borrowers to the tune of $1.7 billion.
The government estimated another 27,000 borrowers could see about $2.8 billion in debts forgiven if they prove they were employed in an eligible job.
Now, the changes are designed to let borrowers correct errors and count payments that they were trying to make toward the program. That should shorten the amount of time more than 550,000 borrowers. Those who have already consolidated their debts are required to make payments to qualify for forgiveness. But it's complicated. There's a whole lot to this article. More of it is on USA Today. Check with your loan service agent as well for more on a much needed overhaul to this program.
Yeah, but a lot of people would benefit from that, definitely.
A whole bunch of people, and some of you probably watching right now.
All right. For now, let's look at today's 9 at 9.
Democrats are threatening a filibuster as the Senate is scheduled to vote on a procedural rule today that could allow lawmakers to suspend the nation's debt limit until December of next year. The decision is not made by October 18th. U.S. would default on payments for the first time in modern history.
10 Republican governors, including Governor Greg Abbott, will make a visit to the U.S.-Mexico border today. There they will hold a conference on the recent influx of migrants entering the country. Multiple Texas law enforcement officials will also be in attendance.
The director of the U.S. Food and Drug Administration says the number of children who have died from COVID-19 in the country is a, quote, embarrassment, end quote. The FDA is scheduled to meet this month to consider the Pfizer vaccine for children under 11 years old. Right now, children under 18 account for nearly 27% of all new weekly cases in the U.S.
The U.S. just recorded its biggest increase in homicides in modern history. Provisional CDC numbers indicate a 30% jump in murders from 2019 to 2020. Previously, the biggest increase in homicides was from 2000 to 2001. That was due to the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
The investigation of what caused the massive oil spill off the coast of Southern California continues this morning. More than 100,000 gallons have leaked into the ocean. Officials say a boat tanker may have torn a 13-inch hole in the pipe. Employees with the pipeline company say they noticed something was wrong but didn't say anything. The incident is now a criminal investigation.
A former Tesla employee was awarded $137 million for being subjected to a racially hostile workplace. Owen Diaz said that he frequently heard racial slurs at the Tesla factory in Fremont, California. No word yet if Tesla plans to appeal, but the head of Tesla's HR department argues there were no witnesses to Diaz's claims.
7 passengers injured in that Amtrak derailment in Montana last month are now suing. Court documents show the lawsuits allege negligence from Amtrak and BNSF Railway. 3 people died, dozens more were hurt in that derailment.
Singer Kelly Clarkson is keeping a $10 million Montana ranch as part of her divorce. Clarkson is battling for assets with her ex, talent manager Brandon Blackstock. The couple has 2 children together.
If you've been holding off on the carbs, you can pause for today. It's National Noodle Day. Yes, it's a thing. Noodles have been around for more than 4,000 years, and they're one of the most eaten foods around the world. And that is today's 9 at 9.
Will you be celebrating today?
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, Sure. Why not?
I think
why
I will
not?
too. My daughter just started liking noodles. Just started.
Really?
Yeah, I know.
Just
Weird,
now?
right? I mean, she did the mac and cheese thing.
Okay,
but never,
I was going to say.
Never like pure noodles. Now
Right,
she's
because
starting
you ask any kid their top 5, it's like chicken nuggets,
mac and cheese.
I mean, it just kind of
Yes.
goes with
French
the territory,
fries.
right? How was her birthday?
Oh, it was great. Thank you for asking.
Good.
Yeah, she lived it up. She did her little dance in PE class. The birthday girl gets to do a little dance, and I didn't get to see it, but she said it went well. And
she said it was, so when you're 8 years old, I guess you can do this little happy jig, and she chose to do a slow
dance. And I'm like, how do you slow dance by yourself? I have no idea what she did.
But we are moseying through a Wednesday and another really nice morning out there, giving way to another pretty warm afternoon, Justin.
Yeah, we will. It's one of those days where we start off really nice and then it ends up really warm. Big change in temperature. And we started off at 62 this morning, 90 by this afternoon with sunny skies. And that's just indicative of that dry air that we have in place. So that being said, if you plan to do a little bit of running this morning, you have a few more hours here before temperatures really start to heat up. I'd say you got till about 11 o'clock, but that's just my opinion. We'll start to, again, get pretty warm, I'd say, after the noon hour. Pollen count is in. Mold is at 1,050. Ragweed at 140. We have 5 allergens today. Fall elm, grass, pigweed also showing up. Well, not only that, but we also have some not so great air quality with it being an ozone action day today in the unhealthy sensitive category. So the ozone is high enough to where if you have asthma, any sort of respiratory issue, that you may want to stay indoors today with that ozone level being a little bit higher. Temperatures are in 60s right now. We'll make our way into the 70s here very soon. And we do have a little bit of rain in the forecast. I mean, small chance. We'll talk about that 7-day forecast here in just a few minutes, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Taking a quick look out at TransGuide. There's a look at Loop 410 in San Pedro. Doesn't look like anything big happening there, but just the usual traffic. And there's a look at I-37 and 1604 at John Peace.
Top stories we're following for you today. San Antonio fire crew spent most of the night last night trying to put out flames at a recycling plant.
It happened at a Republic Services site on the city's east side, and we had a crew at the scene on Hormel Drive all morning. Employees who work at the plant told our Jonathan Cotto that there were giant piles of cardboard and other recyclable materials. Officials say the building was equipped with a fire suppression system that did help in gaining control of those flames. Crews were eventually able to get the fire out and employees returned to work. No word on what sparked the fire, but nobody was hurt. New this morning, San Antonio police could use your help finding the person they say shot a food delivery driver.
It happened late last night at a Food Mart parking lot on Barclay near Castroville Road on the city's west side. Police say the victim was sitting in his vehicle and 2 men approached him. Victim got out of the vehicle and some sort of fight started. At some point, SAPD says one of the suspects pulled out a gun and fired 2 shots. The victim was hit in the leg and taken to a hospital. Those suspects got away.
In your morning headlines, the subway pusher is arrested and the victim is talking and an execution in Missouri.
And getting up close and personal with a crocodile. David Sears is here.
You guys don't answer. Do you guys know the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? The main difference? No Googling. Think about it.
I forgot. I'll think
Phone's
about
down.
it.
Oh, look, Justin's got his hand up, so we'll get that to just a second. Yeah, okay. All right, first, let's start with this, though. Video that has gone viral. New York subway woman gets knocked right into a train by that woman right there. That woman was just standing there facing the train when she got nailed. The collision was so violent, you can see that her shoe actually came off. The suspect got arrested. The victim, Lenny Javier, ended up in the hospital and a lot of broken bones and bruises, but still able to talk about what happened, something she never saw coming.
I never thought it would happen to me. Terrible. My face is swollen. I have a broken nose and a fractured chin. Someone needs to take responsibility for this because this can't be happening. I never too many cases.
The woman who was arrested is part of an increase in transit crime, up 43% in just the last month. 29-year-old Antonia Egabara has been charged with attempted murder for shoving that woman into the moving train. Police caught her at the same station where she allegedly pushed the woman just the day before. The death penalty carried out last night in Missouri. The state put Ernest Johnson to death. He was convicted of murdering 3 clerks while robbing a gas station 27 years ago. He killed one with a claw hammer, shot another one in the face, and stabbed another victim at least 10 times with a screwdriver. Johnson, who is 61, died by lethal injection just after 6 o'clock last night. His defense team argued that he had intellectual disability and wanted the execution delayed. That was denied.
At 6:01 p.m., Governor Parsons' office was asked whether there's any reason that the lawful execution of Ernest Johnson for the murders of Mary Bratcher, Fred Jones, and Mabel Scruggs should not proceed. The answer was to proceed. Excuse me. At 6:01 p.m., the order was given to proceed with the lawful execution. At 6:02 p.m., the lethal injection of pentobarbital was administered. At 6:05 p.m., the 5-minute timer was set. At 6:11 p.m., Ernest Johnson was pronounced dead.
By the way, the Missouri governor's office said that his case was reviewed by courts and juries 6 times and was rejected every time. Finally, take it Australian. It's a lagoon. You're looking at a crocodile through a drone camera, and then, look out, ooh, the drone belongs to a film crew. They were shooting a documentary, getting video of the crocs in their native habitat when the croc decided he would give them a little more than they bargained for, a real close-up. The crew thought the drone was gone, but it actually washed ashore 2 weeks later, full of teeth marks. The drone was no good, but hey, the video was pretty good. All right. The difference? You didn't Google it?
No.
Tell me you didn't. Okay, what's the difference?
What's the difference?
Crocodile, main difference.
So my guess, or what I thought I remembered, was the crocodile had a skinnier nose, snout, and then the alligator had a wider.
Had it wider and rounder.
I thought one was on a shirt and one wasn't. But I don't know. I could be wrong.
And you can wear Crocs, but you can't wear alligators.
Oh, see,
unless you turn
okay.
them into boots, and then the alligators are good.
See what happened? He took my joke and he raised it. So that's, I call you David Sears.
Justin, did you know the difference? You had your hand up.
I thought it was freshwater versus saltwater.
That's also one of the differences.
Okay.
There you go.
There are several differences, but the main one is the snout and the face. So anyway, boy, just full of intellectual
Katie,
knowledge.
you can go home. We just had a teachable moment.
We'll see Katie later on.
We will. David, thank you.
Thank you.
Right now, 9:09, about 69 degrees. Still ahead on GMSA at 9.
The technology that helps investigators solve crimes is ever-changing. And coming up in our next half hour, we take you behind the scenes for a look at some of the technology used here in San Antonio and how it works.
It is Wednesday. That means Katie Blake is roaming around, getting ready for Katie's Science Lab. Today, she's making pumpkin slime. Take a picture of these ingredients with your phone so you can follow along. Plus.
And good morning, guys. We know vaccinations have been talk of the town recently, but today we are talking about the flu shot. And after the break, we're going to explain why it is so important, especially this year.
And welcome back. It's about 9:13. We are entering flu season, and there is an increased stress in getting flu shots this year. It was even mentioned on last night's city's briefing.
Max Massey joins us live from UT Health San Antonio. Max, kind of a loaded question, but have you gotten your flu shot yet?
Guys, I'm getting it right now. It is so important. I just heard a crazy stat. Only about 40% of Americans actually get their flu shot. Let's see. Boom. There it is. I just got it. I'm part of that 40% who just got their flu shot. But it really is so important this year. We're joined here with Dr. Leverance. So, Dr. Leverance, why is this year so important to get your flu shot?
Well, we are concerned about the twindemic, both COVID and the flu. It's bad enough to get COVID alone or the flu alone, but to get both really increases your chances of severe disease or hospitalization. So it's more important than ever to get vaccinated for flu as well as COVID.
And we were actually just talking, how long does the flu shot last? Why is it important to get it now?
Well, flu season goes through the end of March, and so the vaccine's effectiveness diminishes after about 6 months. So it's best not to get it before October. So now is the perfect time.
And we're entering this phase of booster shots for the coronavirus vaccine. Is it possible for people to get their booster shot and their flu shot, make it as time efficient as possible?
That's a great question. You can get both the COVID shot and the flu shot at the same time. However, before you do that, I would call your facility and make sure they have supplies of both available.
Okay, and it's not that the mixing of medicine's bad?
No, not at all. It's very safe to get both. Many already have, and we recommend it. And the best way to get your flu shot is through your primary care provider's office or through a local pharmacy.
All right, Dr. Leverance, thank you so much. So, guys, if you have any questions about this, we're going to have all the answers. Just head to KSAT.com. Mark, Steph, have you guys gotten your flu shot yet?
45 minutes from now, right here at KSAT, Max.
That's right. We're getting it today.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Boom.
Thank you, Max.
Boom. Good job, guys.
Thank
Thanks, you too.
Same to you. Same to you. 9:15, about 69 degrees out at the airport.
go ahead and check in with Justin.
Yes, good morning to you guys. And we're going to talk a little bit about rainfall to start off here because we got some good rain last week, if you remember. And then here we go again. We're hitting a dry stretch. We're at 26.09, and we've kind of been right about average, it feels like, most of the year. That's where we are now. We're about 0.86 above average. But as you might imagine, as if we go a week here without rainfall, we'll probably fall below average. Del Rio is right there too, 15.46. Austin's had a good year when it comes to rainfall, 31.36 there. So just a quick check-in on where we stand. Lows this morning, 60 in New Braunfels, 54 Bernie Stage, 58 in Hondo, 56 Kerrville, 57 Eagle Pass, 59 in Carrizo Springs. It's a cool morning, very similar to yesterday. We had a few clouds out there, but not many. And after that cool start, we're seeing things warm up pretty rapidly. 69 now at the airport. We are showing a few clouds here with northwesterly winds at about 3, but thankfully some nice low dew points. Still pretty dry out there, and we do have to mention that there is an ozone action day in place today. So if you have respiratory issues, asthma, it's one of those days where you probably want to stay inside. It's unhealthy for those who are sensitive to ozone, and it's possible we could see this again tomorrow, so just heads up there. Satellite picture shows some of those, looks like mid-level clouds coming through. No big deal. 63 again, Bernie Stage, 69 in New Braunfels. We're at 73 in Del Rio. And there's going to be a little bit more cloud cover up here across the northern part of the viewing area. If you're south and southwest of San Antonio, sunny skies all day long. And that's why temperatures will be pretty toasty this afternoon. As far as humidity goes, again, right where we were yesterday, low 50s. That's in the pleasant category. Nothing that's overly humid here. It's not overly dry either. We're just kind of sitting in the middle, more or less. Our upper level low that we've been watching the last couple of days still sitting there. This is finally starting to move a little bit. So they'll get some relief from the rain there across the southeast. Another little system across the Rocky Mountains. This doesn't do anything for us. But this system will produce more heavy rain today around Atlanta. There are flash flood watches in effect again today for most of Alabama, parts of Georgia. For us being on the backside of this thing, we stay dry. This is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We fast forward to Saturday, 5 o'clock. High pressure starts to build in the upper levels. I think the weekend could be fairly warm, low to mid 90s. So if you have outdoor plans, just know it is going to be more summer-like than it is fall-like. As we get into Monday, there's another little system that works towards the middle part of the country. Now, this may give us a small window for some rain. This is Monday morning, 20% chance. Don't think we'll get much out of this, but a couple showers, certainly a possibility. And then by 5 p.m., the rain would be moving out. Rest of today, we're up around 90 degrees. Temperatures dip into the low 80s by 8 o'clock, 74 by midnight. And the extended forecast, 91 tomorrow, 91 Friday, 92 Saturday. So very consistent weather here. Humidity returns Sunday morning. That'll lead to some clouds. And we have put in a 20% chance of rain Sunday night, Monday morning. Otherwise, 90s across the board. Steph?
Thank you, Justin. And it sounds a bit unusual, but in order for one mural in town to be seen, a wall had to be torn down. The wall art had been covered up by another wall inside the Mexican Cultural Institute for more than a decade. The mural, called Telón de la Paz, was a gift from a well-known Mexican artist. Back in 2010, the Institute put up a wall in front of it to make way for an agriculture exhibit, and it stayed that way until recently.
So we started to uncover it and saw that it was in perfect conditions. So then that's when we decided to open it up.
The mural, given as a symbol of peace between Mexico and San Antonio, now is open for public viewing. You can see more of this wall and the story in this week's If These Walls Could Talk. It's on our website at KSAT.com.
That thing is massive.
I know, it's beautiful.
And thank you to our Katrina Weber for continuing to tell those stories right here on air and online at KSAT.com.
Yeah, thanks, Katrina. And still ahead on GMSA at 9, a preview of the latest KSAT Explains episode.
9:23, a new episode of KSAT Explains is out now, and this week the team is making a return trip to a community over on San Antonio's west side.
RJ Marcus and Myra Arthur explain how this episode focuses on the future of the Alazan courts.
This episode of KSAT Explains is a return. 1 year later, we go back to the Alazan Courts, a public housing development in the heart of the city's west side. There was a lot of concern this time last year, RJ, about what would happen with those courts. The plan on the table was not one that a lot of people approved of, but that has changed.
Yeah, it's hard to believe, Myra, that it's been a year since we covered this, and Saha ended up pulling out of the deal with a private developer to get the Alazan Courts renovated. And so we talked to the CEO of Saha about that decision and why they ended up going that route. And it's very interesting, sort of the process of where they are now and what's ahead here in the future.
I mean, it's no secret that these public housing units, they need upgrades. They are the oldest public housing units in existence in the entire country. They're cinder block units. They don't have Wi-Fi. I know that's something that you and I talked about. So the need is definitely there, but the concern is that there is such a root of culture, a tie to culture of the city's west side. What would that mean if this was to be demolished and something new were to be put in its place? Yeah. And what does it mean either way, demolished or not, when it comes to the 500 plus families who live at the Alazan Courts?
Yeah, and of course, Myra, those are the people that are going to be impacted by these decisions being made at a higher level. And so we went to the Alazan apartments to really talk to residents about what their thoughts are about this redevelopment, what their thoughts were with the previous plan. And it's a really interesting perspective. We also got to go inside one resident's apartment to see basically their lifestyle. And as we mentioned, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, but it seems like residents there at least feel a little bit of a sense of hope now with the way that the progress has been made over the past year or so.
One of the upgrades since, what, 1940?
Yes.
A window air conditioning unit, a window AC unit. Yeah. So we take a look at where these plans are now, what the future looks like for the Alazan Courts and the people who live there. Check out this latest episode, KSAT Explains Los Courts, on ksat.com/explains or on the KSAT TV app.
925, about 69 degrees.
And there's a lot more ahead on GMSA at 9. Erica Hernandez joins us live in the studio to talk about the massive laboratory and classroom that helps San Antonio investigators solve crimes.
And it's Wednesday. That means Katie is roaming around getting ready. David Sears is ready to go right now. Katie's Science Lab coming up today. She is making pumpkin slime.
Earlier this week, we aired 2 stories about Texas State University's Forensic Anthropology Center that is leading the way in research and the study of human decomposition.
They're also training law enforcement to better understand how to solve different types of crimes. Erica Hernandez joining us here in the studio to talk more about it this morning. Good morning, Erica.
Hey guys, good morning.
So what was your first impression of the facilities and, more importantly, the program?
It is a fascinating program. I was very astounded by how big it is to begin with. There's several labs as well as an outdoor area, and it's also, you know, it's a little eerie. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little creepy. You go into the labs and there's just boxes and boxes of skeletal remains that the students are studying, and then of course the body farm, which is, you know, something I could only need to see once in my life, don't have to go back. But the research and everything that they're doing there is fascinating work.
And give us an overview of everything being done there at Texas State.
Yeah, so they have several departments within that center. So you have some that are just looking specifically at the bones when they come back into the lab. And then you have those who are out in the body farm who are doing research on human decompositions. And it's very interesting to see how much that program has expanded to also help law enforcement. They even have a group within this facility that is helping agencies across the border who are needing help identifying immigrants that are coming across. Of course, you know, passing out in the desert, they will go and collect those bodies and help identify them and get them back to their families in other countries.
All right, so it says here, tell us what type of research. Is that what it's for?
Yes, that's that's for just helping identifying bodies.
Okay.
But as far as what the research is for, it's for those who that are all over the world, law enforcement all over the world, doctors all over the world. It's not just for human decomposition. There's also research going on just like the body itself, bones and different types of I guess, diseases that people may have and how you can tell that from the bones themselves. So they're taking a very close look within the body.
Well, that's the unique part, to have that body farm. I mean, it's rare because you don't really get to study those kinds of things in controlled conditions.
Yes, so this is giving them, the body farm, that controlled condition where they can set up scenarios throughout it. It's 26 acres. There's others in the United States, but this is the largest in the world.
Sure.
And they're able to set up so many different types of settings. You have those that are buried in mass graves. You have those that are on the surface. Those are at shallow graves. So it's all different kinds of settings to not only examine the bodies, but also the soil and how that plays into effect.
And it's not just for students. You mentioned earlier that this is also training for law enforcement. Tell us a little bit about those workshops.
Yeah, so we were actually there for one of the workshops, the fire and arson investigation, death investigation. So this was setting up different scenarios of death investigations. And they basically set up the burn scenario, and then they have these people come in blindly to try to figure out what happened, how the body was deceased. Was it smoke? Was it the fire? Where the fire started? And that's not the only type of training. They do forensic art training. They also do canine training for canine dogs. So these are law enforcement from across the world coming to Texas State to get this really interesting and unique type of program and settings to help them learn out in the field crime solving.
And people could donate to this program, donating their bodies to science. How does that work?
So they actually, which I was pretty surprised to find out, they have a wait list of 1,000, a little bit over 1,000 people. So you can't register to donate your body to science unless you're alive. Once you're alive, you can register, and once you do pass, your body will be taken to Texas State University, where then they will further use it for their research there at either the body farm, in the lab, however scenario they decide to play out and what they're needed in their research. So yeah, there's a list of over 1,000 people who already signed up. You can go to their website. We have a link on our website if you're interested in this type, if this is what you would like to do after you pass, for your family to know, because you can't just die and then your family decide. You have to be the one to decide to donate your body.
And Erica, I know it's all about the science, but you said, like this body farm, you said the stench was indescribably bad. Of course, you've got a bunch of bodies laying around a field or buried just in shallow graves, right?
Yeah, that's why I said I only need to go once. Right. No one needs to go unless you're studying and doing the research. I understand this could be really morbid, this could be really creepy for some people, but it's all for science. And what they're doing is helping figure out how to solve murders out there, and this is going to be some stuff we're going to see, especially in the Andre McDonald case that we have coming up in courts later this month, early next month, where Andreen McDonald's body was found after being months and months and months out in a field in North Bexar County. Some of that stuff that we're going to hear from expert witnesses is stuff that's being taught there.
Kind of folds into the same thing.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Eric.
Thanks, guys.
Eric Hernandez, more on that story on KSAT.com.
And taking a look outside with live cam, we're at 71 degrees. It's actually pretty nice out right now.
Yeah, we've already gained about 10 degrees now because the sun obviously is up and temperatures are racing upwards. We'll be up around 90 this afternoon. Right now, still pretty comfortable. We're in the upper 60s, low 70s, as we mentioned. 69 at the airport, 64 Boulevardy, 70 Castroville, 70 in Uvalde, 62 Las Maples. There was a little bit of cloud cover this morning, and we're still seeing some of that to our north, but no big deal. It's not going to cause any issues today. Headlines, if you liked yesterday, well, you like today and tomorrow and Friday and Saturday. Nothing much changes. This weekend, we will see more humidity by Sunday. It is going to get a little bit hotter, maybe some low 90s in the forecast. And on Monday, there's a small window for some rain, not much. We're not expecting a whole lot out of that next storm system. Today, up around 90, as I said, sunny skies, light and variable winds. And we'll see clear skies going into tonight, guys.
Justin, thank you. See you again in a few minutes. Right now, we're looking live 1604 John Peace. Traffic looks great pretty much all around the Alamo City.
And KSAT News Now will be streaming this morning at 11 a.m. from the KSAT 12 newsroom.
RJ and Alicia join us live now with a look ahead. Morning, guys.
Morning. We're still waking up.
Yes.
All right, so some of the stories that we're going to be talking about, there's been, of course, a lot of reaction on social media after it was announced yesterday that the student newspaper, The Ranger, is shutting down. This is a publication that's been around for nearly a century, giving many students their start, and we'll actually be speaking to one of our own digital journalists, Rebecca Salinas. She's an alum of The Ranger newspaper, so we would definitely want to be able to hear from her and what she learned and how she's taking this news.
Yeah, we saw a lot of social media reaction on this, not only from people that had worked at the Ranger newspaper, but also journalists in our area that had been really impacted by this. So it'll be an interesting thing to get Rebecca's perspective on this. She tweeted out yesterday saying, obviously, you know, that it was sad news and she got her start there. So yeah, it seems to be a similar situation for a lot of people. And also on KSAT News Now at 11, we are taking you on a trip into the wild side with Clay Carbajal. So Clay Carbajal is a San Antonio native who works with exotic animals. He's done this for years. He has a very interesting backstory. He has his own YouTube channel, and basically his whole deal is that he wants to inspire youth, especially minority youth in San Antonio, to not be afraid of these animals, for one. You guys were talking about alligators earlier. You guys were talking about alligators earlier. He actually brought one here. It was a baby gator, and he brought like a huge like boa snake too. So yeah, we have some pretty cool video. It was out in our garden. You must have missed
I
that.
wasn't present.
You were in
I
here
was at
that
a
day?
different
Okay.
story. Ooh, I think
I remember that.
Yeah, so Clay brought the animals in here as well too. So a lot of interesting things. And again, his story is really, really cool. Again, he's got his own YouTube channel. So pretty interesting stuff there with Clay Carbajal. That is going to be coming up at 11 a.m. this morning on KSAT News Now.
And we want to remind the viewers that a big part of KSAT News Now that makes it different from other newscasts is that we do check in real time comments. So join us, tune in, let us hear your thoughts about the stories that we're going to be covering today starting at 11.
Very cool. We look forward to it. Thank you, guys.
Right now it's 9:37, about 71 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
After the break, Katie's going to show us how to use the leftovers from your pumpkin carvings to make pumpkin slime.
9:41, welcome back to GMSA at 9.
Katie Blake and David Sears are, of course, in our studio this morning, and they're showing us how to make pumpkin slime.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello. Welcome to our spooky set. We need to cut that happy music. I need some more. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
Boo. Boo. It is October, so we're riding this pumpkin thing all the way through the month. We're going to make pumpkin slime today. There's not like a whole lot of physics involved with this. This is more of just like a fun sensory activity, especially for younger kids. But all of the kiddos can be involved in this. It's a lot of fun. We're going to get the slime going here. Here's what you're going to need. You are going to need a pumpkin, or however many you would like. You're going to need some carving utensils. We're just using the little kits.
Spoon thing?
Yes. So David has started carving.
a little late, but I'm just going to hold it. It'll look good.
You'll need 2 bottles of clear glue. Clear glue, really important here. And then you're also going to need some of this danger liquid starch. I don't know how you would Stay-Flo?
Stay-Flo maybe.
Stay-Flo. This was a little hard to find, but online it was available at a few area HEBs, and I was able to pick this up. Otherwise, looks like you can get it on Amazon. So what you're going to do here, David has already, it smells so bad. I hate the smell of the pumpkin so bad.
Whoa, wait a minute. Pumpkin spice latte queen
that is not the
smell of pumpkin?
That is not the same as a raw pumpkin, okay? There's no cinnamon, nutmeg, clove over here.
And it's a bit of a coincidence.
Okay,
If I'd have known, I'd have brought you some.
David is carving his pumpkin, so you're gonna let the kiddos get in there, get all the seeds out, all of the pumpkin guts, and then you're gonna put it in a big old bowl. So David's doing that. You don't necessarily, you don't have to get it all out. You can just do as much as you want. So while David's doing that, actually don't add too much more because we don't have.
It won't be much.
Okay.
I mean, he's a kind of an overzealous pumpkin carver.
So he is striving for perfection. Very good job.
Okay,
yes.
I'm gonna put this over here for now.
So you would want to add your clear glue to.
That's a lot of glue.
Yes, and
you just like put the whole bottle in there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Just
look at that.
Get it all in there. You're gonna do that, and then you're gonna do a cup of this liquid starch. I'm just gonna let you eyeball it. I think you can do it. I forgot a measuring cup, but a cup of the liquid starch. Now the thing is, once you start mixing it all together, you're gonna want it to.
That looks like a cup. No, that's a little short.
It's half.
Half cup.
Really, if you do a little bit more starch than you need, it's okay. And you may, as you're, so here, you got to start mixing.
Oh, I'm sorry. Does that
I'll
look like
start
a cup?
mixing for you.
Yeah,
I think
you're good. I think you're good.
Yeah.
I think you're good.
Trust your trust your guts.
You're all stirred.
Ew, your gloves, they're gross. So you start mixing that up. It may take a few minutes, but you want to get that slimy texture to where when you have it in your hands, it doesn't stick to your fingers. So that may take a few minutes of mixing, and you may need to add a little bit more liquid starch. So don't add more glue, but you can pour in a little bit more liquid starch if after a few minutes it's still kind of sticking to your hands and is gross. So we're gonna let it
in there. I need a little more starch.
The good thing here, so the like pure pumpkin smell, if that's not your jam, once you put the liquid starch and the glue in there, you get a much more pleasant scent. So David's going to continue to mix up a little bit more. I have a batch that's done, but we're going to give David a little bit more time before we compare. This is a really good time to remind everyone that David and I are hoping to take Katie's Science Lab on the road. That means we want to come to some of our area classrooms, do science experiments with our area students, either live or pre-recorded. We've already been talking with some local teachers and some schools to get some Katie's Science Lab on the road set up. So if that's something, if you're a teacher,
look at that.
and you think your class would be interested, email me, kblake@ksat.com. You're getting there. I think that's pretty. You're going to have to take your gloves off, though, to get that.
I can?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I thought I had to keep my gloves on. I didn't want to, like, get burned by your liquid starch.
Oh, my.
That's okay.
It's not. There's no.
Can you,
burn
like,
hazard.
make stuff with this? Like make faces and...
If you wanted
yams
to.
Okay.
Yeah, I put
Are
on
we
the
good?
ingredients list optional glitter.
A lot of stirring.
And then I guess I had already used up all my orange glitter, but I think orange glitter would be cool.
That was my question.
Where's your spatula thing? You might be able to stir better with your scooper.
Yeah, that's true.
The
I think
professor
you're-
handed me the spoon.
Okay.
I think
so
you're
that's
doing,
what I'm going with.
I think you're doing pretty good. So
There's a pumpkin spice latte.
Wow. Hey, no.
look at this, you guys.
Oh, wow.
Bleh, bleh. It's just like, yes, it's just fun.
That's crazy.
Yeah, look at this.
That's kind of fun, though, Katie.
There's a smiley face.
There you go.
Why so serious?
That was my question about the glitter. You said, glitter is optional. Like you're talking about the glitter glues that they sell now.
You could put that in there, or just regular. I had some little canisters of glitter that I was going to put in here, and that would be totally optional. It kind of just takes on a color of its own with the pumpkin guts. But yeah, look, and it's not. It's kind of sticking to the hands a little bit, but it's still slimy enough to where you can break it apart and all that. So this is
Yeah,
the
you're
fresh,
getting there, David.
fresh slime.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to do with this.
Oh, this
but,
is the perfect one for October, Katie.
Yeah.
Look at that.
It really is.
Woohoo!
You see, you turn the lights out, get one of those little smoke machine, and like one of those lights that spins
Strobe
around and strobe lights. And you walk in and you here, stick your hand in that.
David Sears just ordered 50 pounds of dry ice.
The kids are going,
What is that? Slime. Oh yeah, that would be fun.
And the seeds are going everywhere.
So,
where can people find the ingredients and stuff?
KSAT.com, go to the Katie's Science Lab section. You'll be able to find, give us like an hour or so, but you'll be able to find this activity if you want to do it over the weekend or closer to Halloween, and then all of our previous activities as
Real
well.
quick on that camera shot, Katie, can you look at the camera, give us your best Wednesday Addams?
That's
Good job,
so much
you just
pressure.
did it. You did it.
Oh, wow. Thanks for joining us.
Yep. Yeah. For more, join Katie on Katie's rooftop weather.
Yeah. That's coming up soon. Wednesday will make an appearance later this month. Good job,
Use some
David.
slime on your rooftop weather?
Maybe. I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Gotta save it.
That's cool.
Guys, thank you. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I like that.
You think Rooney would enjoy that one?
Yes, that's why I was asking about the glitter, because I'm sure she'd want her slime to sparkle.
Mine didn't
Good
stretch as
job.
good as yours yet.
You'll get there.
Mine's just a little.
It looks shiny anyway.
You'll get there.
Mine's a little.
Wow. Thank you guys. Look at you,
The
Katie.
seats are going
Hours
everywhere.
of fun.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
See you later.
Justin's
Hi, guys.
here.
Hi, Justin.
With that experiment, like every school in town is going to be emailing you guys to
Oh,
get to
yeah,
they
like,
should.
Let's
science lab.
start
And
today.
How do you follow that, Justin?
I can't, especially with this forecast. There's not much to it, so we're going to jump through it pretty quickly. We've got mostly clear skies, just a couple clouds moving through. It's 69 at the airport, 71 Stinson, 66 at Randolph. a really comfortable morning. We started off in the low 60s and 50s around the area, but we'll make it into the 90s today. We do need to pass along, though. We mentioned this earlier, that there are some higher levels of ozone around today. So if you have respiratory issues, asthma, you probably don't want to spend too much time outside today with those elevated ozone numbers. And that may be the case tomorrow, too. So just a heads up there. 69 New Braunfels, 71 Stinson, 73 down in Pleasanton, 62 Las Maples, 73 Del Rio, 71 in Cotulla. And dew points, they're on the low end. We're in the 50s right now. It stays that way through Saturday. And as we've been saying all along, it's Sunday where you're going to start to feel the humidity, and especially Monday. We start to get the dew points back in the 70s. It'll be in the 90s. It's not going to feel very fall-like by the weekend and into next week. So as you look at the big picture here, big upper level low spinning off to the east. That's producing quite a bit of rain, some flooding issues for parts of Alabama and Georgia down towards Florida, and then you have some rain out west. This isn't very heavy, but it is helping with the drought situation they've got going on there. We're stuck in the middle where there is nothing going on, just some pretty nice weather. And in temperatures across the country, nothing that, again, jumps off the page. There are some warmer readings as you look across the eastern half of the country, a little bit of a trough out west, so the numbers are cooler there. 56 Boise, 52 Portland. A chilly 48 up in Seattle, one of the cool spots across the country today. Forecast for us calls for a high right around 90, sunny skies. We drop down to 83 by 8 o'clock, 78 by 10 o'clock with clear conditions and not much in the way of wind. That upper level low that we just mentioned moves away, and so Thursday, we're still on the backside of this thing for the most part, and there's just nothing to generate really any cloud cover or any rain. High pressure builds in over the weekend, and that squashes any chances for rain or cloud cover. But by Sunday, humidity does start to increase, and by early Monday, quick moving storm system produces a small window for some rain. It's just really small window, I think. Sunday night, early Monday morning, 20% chance. We wouldn't get much rain out of it. We'd be on the tail end of things. But that is our one and only chance for rain really in the 7-day forecast, because by Monday afternoon, this moves away and we're back to quiet conditions. So this is how it looks in the 7-day forecast. 91 Thursday, Friday, 92 Saturday, 94 Sunday. Keep in mind this weekend, especially on Sunday, it will be hot and humid. 20% chance of rain late Sunday into early Monday, and then back into the low 90s Monday and Tuesday. Guys?
Thank you, Justin. 9:51, about 72 degrees.
And coming up, if you've ever wanted to hunt zombies, you can without even leaving the San Antonio area. Details after the break.
Right now, I want to show you we have a little something going on right now at Loop 410 Northwest Military. Appears to be an eastbound 410. We've got a couple of vehicles with flashing lights, and then several vehicles, including a couple of box trucks there, kind of center of your screen. But again, be advised, we've got slowdowns in that area. Another vantage point, you've got that ramp, it looks like is completely closed right now.
And I've heard about the zombie run, where you run away from zombies, and now you can blast at zombies and you don't have to travel too far. So if you're looking for an interactive way to take out the undead, Paintball Nights in Lavernia is hosting zombie hikes through a haunted village and wooded area this Halloween season.
For $20 a person, you get to walk a quarter-mile trail and blast zombies with glowing jelly balls. Zombie hikes are scheduled from 9 to 11 p.m. every Saturday in the month of October.
Yeah, so these are like new low-impact shooter game. It's designed for kids ages 5 and older, so it's not like just adults doing this. And if you need more information, don't forget this is on our website at KSAT.com, and our lovely Mary Claire put this together for us.
Participants, by the way, are given a blaster at the beginning of the hike with 500 glowing rounds and led on a guided tour in groups of 10 through the forest. And they said after the hike, you get to play some jelly ball games with 500 more rounds. So that's actually pretty good for $20 if you've ever been to a paintball park before.
Yeah, that's not bad. I think it's still a little scary. What do you think? Yeah, you can see the pictures on KSAT.com.